with Consultants, episode 57. Moving ahead, I am Rima Kumari, and ACR coordinator of SKNG.
And I am Pooja Kumari, HR Associates and OD Coordinator of SK Associates and Group. We both are your hosts for today's talk show. So please kindly introduce yourself. Please kindly introduce yourself. Hello.
You hear me?
Audio.
Hello?
Please kindly introduce yourself.
Oh, yes. Kakuru Tumusiime. I'm an advocate practicing in Uganda here. Great to be part of you.
Okay, nice. Moving ahead, the only things that stand between you and your dream is the will to try and believe that is actually possible. It's a beautiful quote quoted by Joel Brown. So this quote I could like swerving our talk show named Conversation with Consultants with episode 57 of our guest talk series.
Before we begin our talk, so let me briefly introduce SK Association Group. We are an IOC certified management consulting firm registered under the MSMED Act 2006 with the Government of India. Our mission is to provide consulting services to student entrepreneurs globally, covering areas such as compliance, operations, marketing, research, and development, human capital strategy, and operations. Our passion lies in helping these budding entrepreneurs bring their dreams to life and contribute to global economic growth.
Entrepreneurship is a catalyst for change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transforms lives, and make the world a better place. We are committed to supporting students, entrepreneurs on their journey, equipping them with the tools, knowledge, network they need to succeed.
Moving ahead now, before we begin our show, let's take a moment to introduce our guest for today. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome Mr. Kakuru Tumusiime, Senior Advocate of Banturakai and Co-Associates, Nigeria. To this special event, we are truly honored by your presence today and we are thrilled to have you share this momentous occasion with you. We would like to start this interview with our first question for you. Your first question is, what does burnout mean to you personally? Hello.
Hello, I think you can repeat that question.
My question is, what does burnout mean to you personally? Hello, Mr. Kakru.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, burnout means that where someone overworks themselves and they cannot control the way they are thinking emotionally or physically, even mentally. So you overwork yourself, you push yourself more than what you are expected to do. That might be because you want to impress your employer, or you have a lot of workload you need to put off your desk before the close of a day or a week. So you overwork your brains, and then it affects how you think and how you relate with people. And so burnout specifically means working yourself from what is expected of what your brain is or what your head can contain at a given moment. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Moving ahead, your next question is, what are the three main dimensions of burnout according to who?
You can repeat for me the questions.
What are the three main dimensions of burnout according to who?
According I'm not getting the last part.
According to who? HWO.
Oh. So what are the dimensions? You're asking the dimensions or the effects? I don't know. According to who, I think that is World Health Organization.
The question is the chat box.
Okay, let me check in the chat box. Mm, oh. Okay, well, I think I'd not got to find out the clear dimensions according to the World Health Organizations, but I'd used my own analysis depending on the people I've worked with, depending on the consultants that try to help people or recover from burnouts and mental disorders. Well, some of the issues that cause that burnout is, for example, the workforce from the employees to the employers. No, the employers, the employees. Because, for example, if you have a company, would want the employees to overwork themselves so that you can get more produce. And in that process, without giving them any leave, any rest hours, any other additional projections or support to keep them active, that one causes them to overwork themselves. And in the end, it affects also the productivity of the company. For example, if a person is overworked for a whole week, it means the input used by that person, including his brains, in producing that work for a given time, he will use more force, more efforts to work out that work, to make that work come out. So, in the coming days, he will find himself so exhausted. He'll have less concentration on work, maybe not thinking about what else they will do. And that goes ahead to affect even the relations with the family members. For example, if you're a married person, you've ever been worked at the workplace. So when you reach home, you have that anxiety, you have that tiredness. You might not relate well with your woman or man if you are married. I don't know whether you people are married, but you can understand. For example, at some point when you have a lot of work to handle, for example, us who do practice, you might find yourself having a lot of court cases ongoing at the same time. So by the time you finish all those, you might not have time to relate well with your family, and that might cause issues with the family or domestic violence or child abuse or neglect. Because you are overworked at your workplace, you overthink what should be done and you forget to consider your family. So that burnout also goes ahead to affect your children. For example, if you have children of school going age and you leave your work when you're tired and exhausted, you can't think of what to advise your children, can't guide them on how they need to work on themselves very well, might even feel exhausted with relating with their own wife or husband. That one might affect much even of the work. Well, it might not be immediate, but the effect will come as we go on with time or as it increases the risks you relate with too. Also, if you have a burnout because of your work, even your personal life might not be helped at all. For example, you might not even find time to go and do some medical checkups or physicals like running or to keep your body fit. So, because of that, it might affect you health wise. And some of these people who even don't appreciate what to do, or maybe consult counselors, they end up getting into drug abuse, getting into alcoholism, and other bad things so that they can be kept into the shape of moving. But when in actual sense, the effect is on their own selves and their bodies, which literally affects the work. Because if you sleep in a bar every day drinking alcohol or using drugs, might not even have time to concentrate on your workplace. So with time, you might find it affecting the output at work. Yet, in your own reasoning or understanding, you thought that that would support you to keep pushing hard. For example, some people think if they drink, they will stay awake for a lot of time. What? But that affects our brain functionalities and our work output reduces with time, which even reduces the expectations of our companies. I guess that one can be yes.
Okay, nice. Moving ahead, next question. What are some common signs of burnout at work?
Common signs of burnout. Is that a question?
Yeah.
Hello? Oh, well. It might depend on the different persons or people because we are not created the same way to have the same effects or signs. But the most critical signs at workplace involves sleepiness. For example, you at your workplace, but every time you find your colleagues sleeping during the working hours because of the overworking or the burnout in their brains. They can't think more, so they have to have rest. So you find they are always sleeping at work. You find their output in terms of workforce is low. For example, if you have a file or a concept you are to handle, you might find someone who is supposed to handle it for 1 day or 2 days. He spends a week without even making any inputs. Then the three is the non-communication. With mental burnouts, the communication becomes low. So someone is already thinking of what is it. So it might even reduce the rate of association with the colleagues at work. Also, the nature of work produced. You have a burnout, it will be hard for it to produce good work. It's very hard. So I think those are the most common ones. Also, sicknesses. For example, someone is always complaining of headache, uh, body pains, tiredness. Even when they are from sleeping in the morning, they will complain they are still tired. So that those are some of the common signs or mental burnouts.
The next one, how does burnout impact physical health?
Oh
How
wow!
does it impact physical health?
Oh okay. Well, burnout impacts physical health in different ways. For example,
Physical
if you
health.
have a burnout, yes. If you have a burnout, for example, you might even take less time concentrating on how you feed. The feeding method is because you already think of the brain is much thinking, might even end up eating bad food, not bad in the way it looks, but bad in terms of the the formation of its carbohydrates or whatever, the nutrients, because you want to eat speedy and go. For example, here we like taking fast foods, just rush and get fried chips and run to work because you are only thinking of how to handle this pressure with you. So it might end up even affecting your digestion, or it might cause you ulcers because of the eating methods or the choice of food. Two, with burnouts, you might even get brain diseases. Because your brain is overworking and overthinking, might also cause those brain. Then the other one is because with burnout now we might look at how to reduce the effects. So you end up going into drug abuse or alcohol use, excessive. And of course, I'm not a healthy person, I'm not a doctor, but at least I get these reports that excessive alcohol drinking or consumption or drug abuse can cause health implications, including cancer. It might be lung cancer or any other cancer, even the heart diseases. And also, with that, with the increased use of such drugs, it might also affect your brain, the brain thinking capacity of a person. For example, you might only be addicted and you can only work when you have used such a drug. So, because of the burnout, because you think you are having a lot of thoughts in your head. So, if you take a bottle of beer or smoke something, then you can relax your brain. So, with time, you find you cannot do anything productive if you have not used any of those chemicals. So the burnout itself has a lot of health impacts. For example, even if you have a burnout, you might not even have time to go for workouts, the body workouts, the checkups, because you might find you have money, but it's only limited to you drinking alcohol to keep yourself active on work. So instead of spending little money to go for healthy checkups, you might think you want to use it to buy the drugs or the alcohol. And in the end time, you find by the time you get to discover that you have an issue or a disease, it is even beyond what the doctors can help you in recovery. Yeah, I think those are some of them, but it has a lot of health impacts. Also, the thinking, the way you think about other people, the socialization aspect. Because if you have a burnout, it will be hard for you to go out and socialize with people. For example, for games, for example, because all your thoughts will be only focused on the issues that have been within your brain. And that continuous thinking also affects the way our brains grow. Because our brains keep growing and expanding with how we relate with people, how we change the environment, among other issues.
Question. What are the main causes of burnout in your professions or environment?
Sorry?
Uh, I asking what are the main causes of burnout in your profession or environment?
Oh, well, with our profession as lawyers, it involves a lot of reading. It involves a lot of reading, it involves a lot of research, it involves a lot of analysis, critical analysis. And for example, I can show you some of the files I have on my desk just shortly. Let me see. But these are some of the files I'm working on right now. I don't know whether you can see. Have you seen some of those files? Yes. Hello. So, as I was saying, we have a lot of work to do and we have a limited time to handle it. So, you might find you have to work even beyond the work time so that you can fulfill what the profession requires. For example, we the lawyers, we normally my biggest focus now is on the protection of human rights as a lawyer. So it involves a lot of tortured victims, it involves a lot of illegally detained people, it involves a lot of humanity. So you find myself, oh, my colleagues in this profession, okay, spending more time reading the books even finding solutions on how to counteract arguments in court, because you need to prepare for arguments against other people to protect your client's interests. So within that period, you might find you are overworking yourself. You have no time for your family, you have no time for yourself. Some of the people even don't have time to eat because they are working, they are reading a lot. So that one causes the burnout. If you do it every day for a month or continuous, it might be even the hardest to recover from. But I think the best way we can do reduce on that is on giving ourselves time frames of how to perform our work and duties. For example, today I do not have court, that's why I'm putting on casually, so that also I find time on my workplace, not only in the courtroom. Because if every day you want to work even beyond what you're expecting, we need to even remember that we are human beings and we have our brains get tired. So for our work, it is basically because of the workload and also the pressure from the clients that we deal with. For example, if we have someone who has been arrested and has been in prison for a month or two, their friends, their relatives, their family will always come to your office asking you, what have you done? How far have you gone in helping us recover our person, getting them out of police? So you find even some people are calling you late at night, asking you about what has been going on with their cases in court. Yet you should be spending that night at home, maybe with your family. So when you have reached home, now someone calls you, you end up opening your computer at night. So the nature of the work we do, if we don't understand that our health lives matter first before the work, if we don't have several consultations from the doctors and the mental health workers or associations to give us that insight, it becomes hard, especially with the lawyers. Then the environment also, our environment is not so well in terms of employment and in terms of the standards of living. For example, if someone has finished university, it would be hard for them to get employment because whenever you go to apply for a job, they will ask you for experience, yet you have just finished university. So those issues affect the person who has finished university. He needs to sustain himself, needs to get himself a house or whatever to keep as a man or a woman, but then you don't have a job and you need to work. You need to pay. You need to pay for your clothing, you need to pay for your house, you need to pay for food, all those. So because of that environment, it becomes hard and a lot of young people are getting into issues of mental health and what because of lack of the jobs to do sustain their lives. And for example, some of the people here they would look at you, the children, to take care of the old parents. For example, if a parent has helped me to go to school and study, they expect me to, after school, I need now to be giving them back some of the money I'm working for. And that you don't have a job after work, people at home are waiting for support. So with all that, you might find yourself even not thinking of what can tomorrow be. And you end up having issues of burnout and mental illnesses. Yeah.
Yep. Moving ahead, your next question is, how does work life imbalance contribute to burnout?
Sorry?
How does work life imbalance contribute to burnout?
How does I'm not getting you breaking?
No problem. How
How
does
does
work-life
work life
imbalance contribute to burnout?
I'm not getting the question. The network is breaking.
just I shared in chat box?
And is it in the chat box?
Yeah, yeah. Just wait.
I can't see it. I'm only seeing one question. Okay. I think I'm getting it. How does work life imbalance? Yes? Is that the question?
Yes.
How does because it is not complete, how does the life work imbalance cause burnouts? Or
To
is it the question?
out. Contribute to burnout.
Oh, wow. I think the life imbalance is responsible for burnouts. For example, the life imbalance is, as I had given you earlier an example, uh, the children who have just left university need to work on themselves, considering even the status of the colleagues who are from well-off families or the lucky ones who get opportunities for employment immediately after work. So you find you finish the university with your friends, someone is buying a car, someone is building a house, someone has a good office, and for you, you don't even have where to start from. So, and you want to always relate with them. So you look at him who can manage to buy lunch for a group of friends like five, and you can't manage even to buy lunch for your own self. So you want to keep balancing within the family, within the group, to keep at the same pace or the same status, but you cannot manage it. In the end, you might find even you want to go on get loans or borrow money from friends so that you can want to relate as if you are at the same level with all the friends. In the end of that, you might end up losing even the little you could have managed to keep because you want to be balanced. And the other problem with most of the youth is they don't focus on developing themselves slowly. I think development or growth or success is automatic when you finish school. No, some of them even don't want to go to do casual labor or to do some other activities like agriculture or farming because they think those are jobs not meant for the educated people. These university boys and girls think after university you need to have an office and sit there. No, it is not easy because it does not come like that. You need to work hard and slowly. Because which is most of the problem here in Uganda. Most educated people don't want to go for the so-called dirty jobs. And in the end, you find one, you don't have a smart job, so you don't have money, and you want to live. And especially those people who live in the central area districts and the urban centers or the capital like Kampala here, it is expensive in every way. From the time you leave your home, you start spending money to your workplace, everything is money. So if you don't have money, then you will not manage having even a sustainable life in Kampala. And many of them don't want to go back to the villages because I think it is a myth that educated people are meant to be in town. No, So that is the biggest issue that affects most of the youth here. I don't know what it is like that. I don't know how it is that side in India, but here in Uganda, that is the biggest problem. And because we want to keep in the same position or in the same range with the colleagues, we want to remain also in Kampala like them. We want to drive cars like them, but we don't know that we are from different backgrounds and with different aspirations and different opportunities or lack. So focusing on that, you end up even causing yourself a lot of burnouts, and because you want to overwork to get rich when you are young, like the people who have been working hard for so long, you don't know what they have been doing to make them that they rich. So with that effect, he might end up getting effects of burnout and mental problems. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Next question. What role do unclear job expectation play in mental exhaustion?
Sorry, you can repeat for me?
What role do unclear job expectation play in mental exhaustion?
And clear job expectations.
Sorry.
You're saying, how do we deal with the unclear job expectations?
Unclear job expectation.
Unclear job expectations, yes?
Yes, yes.
Mm. How do we deal with them? Well, that is a good question. Mm, I've tried to work with some community-based organizations in developing some of these ideas for how, especially, we can move our youth from the old thinking of employment, of formal employment immediately after school, to providing them with skills, hands-on skills, with ready and available jobs, and the produce from those skills has a ready and available market. For example, we have a community-based organization called Team School of Business, and that school is a local initiative started by some of us, even my old father, there back in the village in Uganda. But we started that with the help of some volunteers from the United Kingdom and France, among other countries. Having had a study within our locality, within our village, our area, we found out that there was little schools at the moment which were only based on English or English curriculum education, the normal education we all go through. But then, after education, because of lack of money to support the children go on to university, someone studies for 6 years and fails to join university because they don't have money. So what we did, we said we can start a community support organization. We call it team. It is a team. It is trust in education as a means. So we normally train people with hands-on skills. I think with time I will share with you some of the works we do. Specifically, we work on training women, for example, with hands-on skills, baking, uh, tailoring, uh, braid making, hairdressing, and then the men, we train them in bricklaying and concrete mechanics, construction, plumbing. All those skills are hands-on. We are trying to train the people from the other old thinking of formal education to now hands-on skills with direct employment. Because we have a small group that we always work with to coordinate these people after their training. These trainings enable them to get money on a daily basis because you work, you make your good table, you come and sell it immediately. You make a good sofa, you sell it. You make a good shirt, you tailor it well, you sell it. Hands-on skills. So with the target that within the little time, these people are looking for more employment, they already have some capital of themselves. For example, they will not lack some of these things to do or to use while working, while looking for formal employment. And this has impacted a lot of people, and some of them no longer think of going back to searching for jobs. Because these jobs in Uganda, especially, if you get a job, it will not pay you any much money to support you and your family. So it will be only for sustainability, not support. But with these hands-on skills, agriculture, fishing, fish farming, these people start their own jobs and earn even better than us who have formal employment at some point. So I think the biggest one is one, we need to change the mindset of the people from the formal employment setup to know every job that can sustain your life. Because the biggest to me is sustainability. If I get a job that is better than the office work I do, I can leave this office. I'm honest. Because I want something that can keep me moving, not something that can keep me comfortable. Yeah, that's what I think. So if we change the mindset of our youth, show them it's not about office employment, but it's about good and sustainable employment. It's not about how you look every day. For example, people who do bricklaying be that day, but in the evening when they finish their jobs, they clean up and they already have even money on a daily basis compared to us who work for organizations or in offices. Wait for your salary at the end of the month, but for these ones, they will earn every day. So I think there's a big difference. So the biggest you can do is creating more initiatives, more programs, and specifically considering the young people, the youth who are finishing school, university, or what, so that they do not only focus on office or formal employment, but better employment at that.
This sound good. Moving ahead, your next question is what long-term lifestyle changes are important for well-being?
That one is breaking. I've not had the question. Sorry.
Okay. What long-term lifestyle changes are important for mental well-being?
Long term lifestyle?
Um, Changes are important. Changes are
Oh, changes that I'm.
important for mental well-being. Mental well-being.
Oh, okay. Well, that one would need much of experts, but I can give my thoughts. One, I think the lifestyle is that one we should look at the feeding, the foods we feed on every day, the 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 exercises we do. For example, the doctors will say that you need to make more exercises, stretch up your body, make some runs, have enough rest. Those ones would be because enough rest itself makes your body recover or refresh. For example, if we are using computers, we normally refresh the computers. So the refreshment we as people need is enough rest. If we do enough rest, then you take enough water, do regular exercises, then also thinking about life outside your work. I don't know whether I'm clear on that, but life outside your work is that you need to appreciate that you have to live even after the job you are on. Because you can get hired or fired from a job at any point, but then with your life, it is you. You either live with it or you lose it and you die. So as we also focus on the work, we need also to consider our lives, our bodies as the biggest. Because even the employers need healthy people to work with. I don't think if you are sick, someone will call you for employment at his workplace. No. So if we look about, if we care for ourselves, have a good diet, get more consultations from doctors and physiotherapists and maybe nutritionists on how we can balance our body weight or what, that would be good. Then also, I think the other one would be how to associating with people. You see, when we associate with people, we have interactions, we share our problems, we have some joy, and then we relieve our brains. And those of us who like to have relaxation, you can have time and enjoy some music, relaxing music because it is inspirational. It also makes you think about your life beyond what you are supposed to. For example, you listening to music, even forget about the stressful life you left at work, go out and enjoy with friends, go to for adventures, go to around, visit natural places, visit the zoos so that your brains can be fed and the eyes can be fed on different environment, different feeling. Also, those of us or you who can manage to do adventures even outside or beyond your country, it would be good. Go experience different cultures, go experience different lifestyles. That would even help you relax much of your brains and it would keep you think to my thinking focused on how to keep moving because you'd have related with more than one culture. And I think on that, normally we have we have a lot of tourist sites like here in Uganda, the national parks, the lakes and rivers, everything good. So when volunteers come around to visit our charity organization, they normally take tours around, visit mountains, gorilla parks, the beautiful sceneries, they experience the way we, the Ugandans, live our normal life. So that one changes even on how we think about one another. For example, if we have to have interactions, we get to know what you, the Indians culture, do, what you like, what you don't like. Then you come to us, the Africans or Ugandans. We exchange those brains so that we can feel comfortable in knowing that no, life is beyond what we have always thought. Because, for example, if you have only been in India and dealt with India, you might not know what is beyond. But if you go to another culture, experience what they experience, go through what they see, you would also appreciate why we cannot be the same and also learn to adopt maybe new ways of handling issues, resolving any upcoming matters. Yeah.
Okay, moving ahead. Next question. What's the strangest question someone asked you in an interview? Strangest question.
I can be honest. I've not done many interviews. I've not done many interviews per se, but I don't know specifically regarding my employment. Regarding, I don't know what specific question, because I see it is a bit wide. Maybe you can clarify.
Okay.
Yes.
And your next question. What has been your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
Oh well, I have many failures. I think as a person. But the biggest one regarding my work is when I represented some people that were being evicted, wrongfully evicted from their piece of land where they had grown with their families. And this was a group of about 10 people. I represented them in court challenging the wrongful eviction. But during the trial, I was intercepted by security organs, I think supported by the people who were behind the evictions. And the caution they gave me was if I do not put up from representing those people, I would die. And of course, for me, it was not about whether I die or not, but it was about protecting the rights and defending their ownership of land. So I refused to decline representing them. I kept on with the matter. But the unfortunate part is that those people were using a lot of force against my clients, and were also threatening me in person. So, but initially, court helped us and resolved the matter. We won, but I got a lot of threats, even for my own life. But when I learned that no, consistency, especially when you're doing the right thing, is the best. Because no one, for us who do believe, I do believe that it's only God who has control over life. So if God still believes that you need to do something, and especially if it is a good cause, like protecting vulnerable people from being violated, from being harassed, so I believe that is the best. So I learned if you are doing the best, if you are doing good work and you're consistent, then you can manage. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Next question. You need to break the rules if you want success. Do you agree with this statement?
Oh, yes, yes. I totally agree with the statement. One, if you only work with the rules, you might end up not exhausting the outcomes. For example, some rules with my profession, I'll give an example. They would say that you respect your senior. You respect your senior. So the problem we have with that is if we are in court and someone older than me is arguing things I don't agree with, they need me to respect him or her. But to me, no. If I know that what I'm saying is the right, whether you are older than my father, I would disrespect you and disagree with you. So I always break rules, but when I'm right and when I'm sure I'm right. Because for me, if I'm arguing some things that I'm knowledgeable of and I've done research, I will not give that damn to any person, even if they are But our rules say we should respect them, but not when they are wrong. No, for me, there I don't.
Okay, and your last question is, how do you motivate yourself in your harder time?
Sorry?
How do you motivate yourself in your harder time?
Well, the motivation is much on my side because for me, I want to change myself every day. And the biggest belief I have in myself is that I can manage every challenge. If I'm alive, I would manage every challenge. And the other one is I'm not the first person to experience such challenges, and I'm neither the last. And also, as I told you, we the believers, we believe that every problem, every situation that comes towards you means that it is meant for you because you can manage. Are you getting me? Because for us, we believe that God can't give you a lot of burdens than you can contain. So, and the other one is that these things have happened even before us and they will continue to happen even after us. So, the best way to handle is keep focused, believe in myself, take any action so long as I believe it can give me a goal. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Moving ahead, we would like to express our sincere gratitude, Mr. Kakuru Tumsiime, Senior Advocate of and Co-Associates, Nigeria, being our guest for today's conversation with
No,
consultants whose presence
may-
and
may-
engagement help to make it success. Thank you for providing insight into your inspirational journey. Once again, thank you a lot.
thank
Further,
you.
we could
Maybe
also
before you come in, I'm from Uganda, not Nigeria. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Further, we could also like to thank our audience for listening patiently through our event. Thank you everyone for joining with us today. I hope everyone gains a lot from this event. Looking at excited to announce that next episode 58 conversation with consultants every weekend. We hope to see you all there. Thank you again and look forward to connecting with them next week. To subscribe to our channel, follow us on social media handles. Connect with us. Goodbye. Have a great
Have a great evening to you, and thanks for hosting me. I always appreciate
Sorry
your
for the
time.
network issue.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for sometimes when I don't come up because of the unexpected programs and emergencies, but I'm always grateful. And I look forward to always join you guys. Looking forward to also seeing you at one day physically. We'll meet. I appreciate your work. Keep me posted. I'll keep you posted.
Thank
time.
you. Thank you, sir, so much.
Okay. Have a good evening.
Okay, have a good day.
I
Bye.
think I can leave.
Have a
Okay,
good
bye.
day. Bye.
Thank you.
Yes, we can leave.
Bye.